All right, so let's talk Swift programming for a while. So if you remember last week where I left it at, I was talking about the hex grids, and I think I may have mentioned some of the inventory. Um, I think so. So I'm pretty sure I showed you the video where I was showing the hex grid and counting it out. Well, this is not so much about me as about what other people have done, which I think is interesting. I want to share it with you. Um, so when I was doing that, I was like looking around and I was finishing some stuff up, and this is test code, right? So are we on the dev branch? Hold on a second. Oh, we're in the wrong branch. Okay, so let's change to the right branch. All right, so I've got the JSON stuff in. This is the die character that they give you. He's in the book, and this is third edition rules that I'm doing, not fourth edition. So we're going to talk about the hex grids here in a second. Let's just get this out of the way. So in this case, um, what I was trying to do is I was creating kind of like the equivalent of a backpack and the weapons, and then I was trying to make sure that that adjusted on the move correctly. So by default, this guy just has a dagger and a small knife. I'm just leaving the top level of the constructor exposed so that you could customize it for magic or not, or the condition other than the base description of it. So, like in the base description, it's text. This is the specific where the weight and all that stuff. Because this description and this magic doesn't have any bearing on how much it weighs, right? And the cost would vary, so that's exposed. If you go over to the inventory test, let's go over here. I mean, I do create a weapons factory, so you can say, oh yeah, he's doing the design patterns, whatever. Okay, all right, let's go back to this guy. So that's the design. There is a factory. I can do it whenever. All right, so what I wanted to do is, there's a table, and that table determines how much, based upon their strength versus how much they're carrying, where, how much movement and dodge. So my understanding in fourth edition, once you go speed to basic move and then to move, the move takes into account encumbrance, and it's the same as before. It's on that table, but the dodge is like -3, the basic move, and then I think it's the move that's, pardon me, it's the basic move, and then there's a penalty for the dodge on top of that. So it's I think what it is the dodge is -3 basic move and then encumbrance. But anyway, so here I'm just going to try to make sure that as I throw in these heavier items, which hits over 16 pounds, 16 pounds should move it to the next column. And so so that works. That's testing. And I guess what I should say is, if we were to go to the actual guy and go to, say, encumbrance, this is just a lookup table, right? So, based upon your strength, I think his strength is 8. Yeah, it is. It's 8. And then if he is holding under 16 pounds, there's no adjustment. But once he goes over, before he hits 32, it's light. And so that's just implemented as a structure with the index and the array for the this would be like his strength of 8, and that's just the minimum, and that's going to return that result. I was actually going to do that as an int and have it typecast, but I've already got a problem where it's this is a double. No, this is an int, but the weight is a double. So, whatever. So that's that. So let's talk about something more interesting. So I don't even know how I found this, but I was like talking. I was like, what am I going to do in the next thing? And I'm familiar with Scene Kit. I think I was watching one of the Hacking with Swift videos, and then I saw somebody mention Gameplay Kit, and I was familiar with Game Center because the thing I did way back when used Game Center to track achievements. But anyway, I found this, and I want to show you this. This is incredible. So here, this is Red Blob Games. I think the guy's name is Amit. Um, he did a whole bunch of notes about uh, hexagons. I didn't even know this was called a flat top versus a pointy top. You can see this guy did a lot of thinking. Not only did he do a lot of thinking, he did the most incredible document here. Here's that root 3. Remember, when I was looking at it, it's 1 times 2, and then this is a root 3 for this distance. So, and then talking about the size, when you do, so basically and this would be 1 to 2 here. So he's changing that to get this to be root 3, but it's the same triangle. But I just want to show you, as I look through this, how intensely cool this is. He's got these things, and that is, and if you remember that he's doing an upside down first coordinate, right? So now it's like standard. You see that sometimes where it's like so. I was doing mine the other way, but the thing is here that's interesting. There's your by 2s, and these are your by 3s, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. I mean, it's the same thing. He's going an X and a Y within it. So I was like, hey, I'm glad maybe I'm in the right area. But I didn't even think about this. I played Qbert. I should have known this. This is incredible. He's thinking of it in 3D space to get the 2D space. That's off the hook there. I haven't even read all this. I haven't read any of it really, other than just finding it and looking at it last night. But I want to show you, if I get down here, this is just incredible. Last night when I was looking at it, let's get down. Where's the comments? He's talking about pathfinding. I'm not going to be worried, and that's pathfinding with obstacles, right? So that's awesome. But yeah, so if you look at these guys, what they're saying, they're incredible, yada yada yada. There's someone here. This Marty Robbins. I mean, I'm not logged in. I can't say anything, but I've never even heard of this place until last night. Go off. Look at this guy. This has to me be the most polished presentation of anything, anywhere. That's just awesome. I think the guy is like spot on. So anyway, there's that. So I was like looking around. I was like, what is Gameplay Kit? And I thought this was awesome. Go AAPL. Check this out. They've got state machines in here. So what it is, this is a framework that you can use with either Sprite Kit, which is like 2D games, which I know a little, and Scene Kit, which I know zero. I know zero. Here I know maybe 0.1. When you Google and try to find videos on this, it's all basically people are just rehashing this, so I'm not going to do it. But essentially, you've got state machines, which is, if I come back over here, remember I was showing you, that's all this is, right? This is just oh, this is testing. These are test code, whatever. But this is literally just using a state machine, right? He's running through the maneuvers. This is just the reading of the maneuvers. Let's go down here. I thought I had code that was. I did have code and I removed it. So let's go to the actual code. So I'm gonna have to redo. I'm gonna redo all this. So this bit, you're beginning the stage. You're just setting that function pointer to the next thing based upon the context that's coming in. Once again, if you want to talk design patterns, I'm not a design pattern zealot, but that's the term they use, context. I think of it as kind of like the token that's passed in, but whatever. But that's what they're doing, right? So if you're in the move, the only thing you're going to be doing based upon either your moves allowance or you've decided to resolve your move is the next function pointer is going to be resolving that move or resolving the end stage. Well, all of this is going to go away because I intend to try to figure out how to do the state. The next thing that I thought was interesting is they have these, besides pathfinding, they have these agents. And look at this. If I can find it again. You can set up goals, and based upon the goals, like maybe you have 3 guys that have a goal and they do something based upon that goal. So they may move as a group to reach that goal or something. That sounds very interesting. Don't know nothing about it at the moment. So behavior, a weighted collection of goals that influence the agent's movement. I mean, that sounds pretty neat, right? So that's that. Let's look at this. This was something else I found on hex grids. I don't know anything about packages, but this looks interesting. Apparently, within your code, you can specify a GitHub URL and it will pull code into your project that you can use. I've done the pods in the past, and I thought they were kind of clumsy, but this is something interesting. I mean, I'm probably not going to do this because I want to do it myself, but it's interesting. Hear that. Another guy. What's interesting here, they're talking about the tiles. So now we're in SpriteKit. I think the tiles can be, because I had seen something in the past where they had tiles in one of these things, but I want to say that here he's saying it would randomly distribute it. I don't know if this is a feature of his code or if this is something that, I mean, this right here at tile definition, you're just saying what it is. Maybe that'll be interesting. There's lighting going on, so there's a lot of cool things to look at. And then I found that the Paul Hudson hacking with Swift, and I am a member of this. He's doing it, and it's also, when he's doing this reminds me of his OMG marble demo where he's got like ball equals scase node. So anyway, so there's that. And then I saw this. It looks like, I think this is a lady who wrote this. Yeah, Tammy Corin. It looks like this came out when I was looking for any kind of tutorials or info on using Gameplay Kit. It looks like she's literally building like a D&D GURPS thing with it, and it talks about turn-based. I think the end. So this is a social game. I could have swore I saw something about. Yeah, she's using the agents for like a monster generator that will work off the agents. And I thought that might be interesting. So it is. So, in other words, I'm at the next stage, right? So I've got the inventory in place. I just need to create all of the inventory for all of the different people within the thing, right? So like the other characters in I need to look up asking about the questions about these guys and the points for. I did this. I asked a question, not that guy. This lady maybe. Yeah. So here, I thought it was a typo where this thing was like this character in the third edition was 100 points, um, because if you add up all of these things, they were coming out to like 116, which would be like 125. So I got to go back to that, but you can see I don't have anything about the inventory, and none of these of the canned characters have that. But I want to get all that in, and then the ability is when I calculate the points, they will say what the move and dodge is. So, but they'll have different. I don't think this one has even. I don't even have in the comments what the inventory is. Maybe somebody like this I do. I know one of them. Maybe this one. Nope. Maybe this gal. Let's see. Some of them I know I've got the comments in. I've already. Nope. Let's see. Let's find this guy maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So this guy's got at least a knife on him. So like when I add his knife and his other weapons and armor or whatever, I've got to make sure his move and stuff does. So I've got that to do, and I can do that like while I'm watching a video on this thing, or even go through this just to see how he's doing it. Because here he's basically using a tile set with a grid, I believe. Maybe he's not putting the grid in there. I'm not sure, but I want to do that because he's talking about a tile set. So in other words, as I'm watching this, I can do that. I can literally just kind of like fit the code in. So that's that. I want to shut this down. I'm going to show one other thing here. Let's hit stop.